My name is Alicia Rasta, and I am the Vice President of Global Sales at Televerde. 17 years ago, I was released from prison in the US for a nonviolent offense. And since then, I've rebuilt my life, I've built a career, and today I am a senior executive for an international company that serves clients all over the world. And our European headquarters is based in Glasgow, Scotland, which also happens to be my favorite city I have ever been to. At first, I honestly thought it had to be a mistake. My conviction is nearly 2 decades old. I've spent the last 17 years working, paying taxes, raising a family, and leading teams, but also traveling internationally for both business and pleasure. But none of that mattered to the system. There was no opportunity to explain the circumstances, no consideration for rehabilitation, and no acknowledgement of the life I've built since then. It was just an automatic rejection.
I'm Michelle Sirocco, Chief Impact Officer at Televerde and Executive Director of the Televerde Foundation. Our work is rooted in one simple belief: people are more than the worst thing they've ever done. Every day, we ask people coming out of incarceration to do incredibly hard things. I've watched women earn degrees, reunite with their children, buy homes, build careers, lead teams, and create stability. I know this is possible because I am one of those women. My sentence ended 24 years ago. And that's why I know why policies like the UK's ETA restrictions are so concerning. When someone like Alicia, like me, and so many others can spend decades proving they've changed and still be denied entry because of long ago conviction, the message is devastating. It says your growth doesn't count, your accountability doesn't count, your contribution doesn't count. You are still the worst thing you ever did. And that is not justice.
I'm Roy Rainey, co-founder and CEO of the Forestry and Fire Recruitment Program. I was incarcerated over 10 years ago, and today I lead a workforce development organization helping train the next generation of wildland firefighters and forestry professionals. Last year, I had the opportunity to speak at the Workforce and Justice Summit, and that room brought together business leaders, policymakers, and people directly impacted by the justice system to talk about real solutions. Under this new ETA policy, I likely wouldn't even be allowed in the country this year. That's hard to ignore because this work is about building bridges, creating opportunity, and solving workforce challenges together. Policies like this don't just block travel, they block collaboration, innovation, and relationships that lead to real economic and community impact. People who serve time and rebuild their lives are leading businesses, creating jobs, mentoring young people, and contributing to industries that desperately need skilled workers. In my work, I see every day what's possible when people are given a real chance to move forward. If we're serious about workforce development, public safety, and economic growth, we can't close the doors on people who are already proven their value. We need policies that recognize rehabilitation, lived experience, and the role returning citizens play in strengthening communities and economics on both sides of the Atlantic.
After the rejection, I had to completely change course and begin a much longer visa process just to try and do my job. And that meant additional paperwork, legal guidance, delays, uncertainty, and conversations with my employer about whether travel would even be possible in time. And the reality is that business doesn't stop while you navigate bureaucracy. The meetings still happen, the opportunities are still moving forward, and relationships still need face-to-face interaction. And at the end of a several-month-long wait, I received the letter stating that my visa was denied because they were satisfied I had served at least 12 months in prison. And that carries a broader impact for business. For Televerde, this isn't theoretical. We operate globally. Our clients are global. International travel is part of how we build trust. manage our partnerships, support our teams, and grow our business. And when experienced executives are suddenly unable to travel because of decades-old convictions, companies lose flexibility, momentum, and opportunity.
My name is Jesse Crossan. I am an author, I'm a speaker, I'm the owner of Nightest Day LLC, providing media and consulting services. I'm also the founder of Second Chancer Foundation, a charitable organization that works to bridge the gap between incarceration and opportunity. Basically, we work to create a lot more success stories for those leaving incarceration. This is very near and dear to my heart because I myself left prison 4.5 years ago. And I have built a brand, I built a business, I built a charitable organization around the basic idea that accountability and change lead to different outcomes. But new legislation in the UK would say that isn't true. It would say that it doesn't matter how many people I help, doesn't matter how many books I write or how many businesses I serve, that I will forever be defined by the worst moment of my life more than 20 years ago. And I get asked to come speak at schools and universities and corporations and conferences all the time because people consistently say that my message and my story add value to their audience. But I won't be able to add that value to an audience in the UK. I won't be able to work with troubled youth in the UK. I won't be able to go into institutions and find people who are on the fence and help drive them in a different direction in the UK. And I'm not really sure who that serves.
The ETA system isn't really assessing whether I'm a risk today. It's pattern matching on a data point from 17 years ago. And those are two completely different things, and conflating them is how you end up denying entry to a vice president with a clean record, also with a boarding pass, all while calling it security. Policies like this send a message that rehabilitation doesn't matter, that no matter how much time passes, no matter how much you accomplish, no matter what you contribute, your past will always outweigh your present. And I don't believe that's good for business. And I don't believe it reflects the values of fairness and opportunity that so many of us share.